Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm no word of a lie. I just spent 10 minutes making a pretty good video, but I stopped it just so I could start the video here because I find this just so astronomically crazy that I'm making this video to give Mizkif, because if you don't know, Emiru, of course, made a video exposing Mizkif for being an absolute monster. And it's on my channel. It's the YBR a TV channel. You can look up on YouTube. I do a reaction to it, a really heartfelt reaction. Emiru, may you heal. Asthma Gold, don't blame yourself. That is crazy. That is crazy. I'm gonna throw it even out there out in the forefront, bro. Tectone, I don't believe anything people are saying on you. You're a real one. I watch you, bro. I'm gonna react to your shit. You're a real one, bro. I don't care. I'll put that. I'm going blind faith. Tectone ain't do shit, bro. Going blind faith on that, bro. Y'all tripping for putting that on his name. And if it was these little leftists like Hassan or whatever, Dog Shocker, bro, eat a fucking dick. But adding to the weirdos here, this guy, after everything that came out, and the one that just sticks to my head, guys, that will forever make me think of this guy as like a little wimp, is the WoW tank scene. There's so much, and I know that's not the most important one, but that text, the level of fragility that you have to get mad at anyone, but specifically your girlfriend, for picking a tank when you're not even in the party. Holy, my brain fries thinking about that, guys. There's no word that you can use to determine the level of bitch made a man has to be. You can't even say man, a boy would have to be to even contemplate the thought, and then take it to level 2, express the thought, and then level 3, gaslight on the thought. This dude, I'm not even gonna call women out their name because it even transcends the worst of women that do this. This guy's in his own tier of loser. Loser. He is a loser, buddy. You're probably not gonna say if you do, you're a loser. You are a freaking loser, bro. Megaton loser. He's blaming the bunny, guys. Did you read this shit? I left it here so you could read it. We could watch this 50 seconds. He's blaming out of everything. No sorry, no, I'm gonna get into this, no, whatever. He instantly deflects and tries to accuse her of harming her bunnies. Let's watch it. Let's watch it, guys. I don't even act this way. I can't. My thoughts are just being fried. I could formulate my thoughts. When it's this wild, wow.
Emiru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. These were a big part of her life. But as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room,
this nigga sounds like he's reading off a script, bro. Why does it sound like he's reading off a script?
they started to see disgusting neglect.
No
food, no water, sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come over, would give them what they needed, and I would tell her all the time to take care of them, but to no avail. She completely neglected those rabbits, so much that many of them just died over 1 year of being around in my house. My cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt terrible, and my brother once came over and said, and I quote, "If you ever marry this woman, I'll never forgive you."
I don't want to call your brother out of his name because he absolutely did nothing, so I'm not going to do that. If he even said that, assuming he just didn't know, I would assume that he's a right-minded individual and you're the psychopath. You're the psychopath. Bro, even if I were to grant you this, I'm not saying animal abuse is good. It's not. It's bad. It's terrible. Sometimes that type of neglect, even if I grant you it, I wouldn't even think it's malicious. You're streaming, you do a whole bunch of stuff, you go away for a while, you expect someone to feed it, you put the food in the tin, you expect it to eat it. Not a good thing. But my whole thing is the malice. Did you sit there and say, I want to make those bunnies not eat and freaking just die? Did she do that? Was it anything in the range of that? If not, and it might have been oversight or whatever, what are you saying? You gaslit the girl into like emotional decay because she picked your class in a game when you weren't even in her party. Minus that last part, it's still just as freaking bitch made. But I add it because it's like, that's just the kicker. Like, what? Brother, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Is a psychopath. And it's like, my thing is, Yes, Emmy's saying everything she's saying. We don't know necessarily. It's word over word. But then when you see a response like this, what are you left to believe? You have to pick one. I'm always left and right. I'm always picking one. I'll go back on my word if I have to, but I'm picking one, bro. I like to walk on a stance. This nigga's crazy. He's damn near. If she puffed 15% of that story just to really and that's if. Because you know who I bet knows all this? Asman. I bet he knows all this. I bet he will say that these things were told to him years ago, and that's not against him, right? I don't know. But I would assume Emmy has talked to him, right? But to this degree, I'll just say this: I don't believe Asmin just knew that she was being abused, right? There was little inklings of stuff, and then as Emiru was saying, she was just brushing it under. And when people really, really brush it under and they're really good at doing it, what can you do other than believe them? They literally have a straight face with a smile saying everything's okay. They only go so far reading energy, right? Especially if you're not someone that does that. So yeah, this is crazy, man. Crazy. What more? He has more. He has
When
more.
my cancellation
Hold up. Known yo, this is a chick account. This is definitely a chick account from the images that I've seen, guys. But known rapist Mizkif admits to being jealous of Emiru's high viewership. I'm not perfect. I am a competitive dude. I'm gonna respond to that. Let him cook.
and viewership. And when my cancellation happened, and even before it, I mean, it's something you guys know. I've been massively obsessed with streaming and viewership over the years, and it's disgusting and it has ruined my fucking life. It is something that I am envious of others. I am angry at others because of it. It makes me jealous when I see others doing well, and it has made me realize that I am I'm never happy for someone else if they're doing much better than me. You guys know this is true if you watch my old stream. I've always been this way. I've been very envious of other people.
Wow. Now he's making me feel bad. Not because only because I would never expect him to come out and do this. And it unless he is a total perfected narcissist, this seems genuine. He's coming out and he's just saying it straight. He carries a lot of the seven deadly sins. Envy and jealousy are the two that I hate out of most. I had to work on pride personally and wrath, to be honest with you. And I have my own journeys, personally for wrath. It's not so much that I'm like a crazy wrath person. I hate injustice. When you see my energy from the reaction, that's the wrath I have to work on. It's because I see injustice and it really pisses me off. That's my wrath I have to work on. I'm really well off on the pride part, right? Because at the end of the day, just don't hold pride. You should be a cocky person, bro. Just live life. Let life live. I'm very happy at least he's did this. I'm gonna have to calm down a bit assuming this because he's admitting it. But this affirms almost everything that she was saying. This almost affirms everything that she was saying. He's saying, yes, I have these traits. And she broke down, yeah, he has these traits. He did X, Y, and Z based off these traits. Now we're really leaning into truth territory, right? And maybe he's coming out early, just putting it on the table because he understands it's so astronomically fucked. All you could do is be honest. Because at least people will attach towards the honesty. If you try doubling down, you're done. If he doubles down, so this is good, right? But you have to look into, and I even brought up in the reaction, bro. Trauma always dates back from childhood. Always dates back from childhood. I will bet you his brothers have always been better than him, always exceeded more than him. Maybe they were doctors, and then what made it worse, his parents probably shat on him or didn't give him admiration, but gave the other ones admiration. And over time, he internalized that. And over time, when he saw other people do better, it messed with his head because it brought him back to that moment where his parents didn't give him admiration for what he thought was success. And what that does with people is the adverse is they work really, 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 really hard now just to make it, right? But since it was based off the fact that I'm not enough, it's never going to be enough. So they're going to keep going. There's no stopping. There's no stopping. It's a very sad situation. That's why in my reaction, if you watch it, I granted him the same credence that he is almost bringing up now. I don't know his family dynamics or his past, but I bet you it is linked to that because all trauma links back to the past and it's usually from childhood. 99% of the time it is from childhood. Yes, you can have traumas when you're older, but usually you're old enough to function it. When you're a child, you can't. So just in your head. Oh, I'm people think I'm stupid. I'm stupid. When you tell a child they're stupid longer, they can't overwrite their subconscious at that age. You are frying their brain. So if we're gonna give them any leeway, maybe as parents, there's some bad parenting, right? And that's as much grace as I'm gonna give him. I gave it to him already. I'll still grant him that. And also, I'm throwing on this guy who's being honest, guys. He's being honest. It's still like 1% of grace, right? But we'll see. Maybe something else comes out.
And it's a problem. It's a serious. It was a. I'm definitely way better than I was now, or I am now. But it's a serious problem that I am still working on to this day. I am not perfect, and I fucked up with that. I've been this way for a very fucking long time, where I'm a competitive dude, and I think I'm very competitive with streaming because I really care about it a lot and viewership. And when my cancellation happened, and even before it, I mean, it's something you guys know. I've been massively obsessed with streaming and viewership over the years, and it's disgusting and it has ruined my fucking life. It is something that I am envious of others. I am angry at others because of it. It makes me jealous when I see.
You already said it, right? Valkyrie feels gross.
It makes me feel.
Let me read this first. Valkyrie says she. Honestly, Valkyrie. I think you guys know what I was gonna say. I'm working really hard at holding myself back. I'm working so hard at holding myself back. But Valkyrie, sometimes it's just better not to say anything. I'm a nobody. I get it. I in terms of streaming, I know myself. In terms of streaming, I'm new to the game. I'll say that. So for anyone that says I don't get to have an opinion, that's irrelevant. I can have an opinion. I can do whatever I want. You should just stop bringing shit up, especially after the kiss ass tirade you went on. This is just gonna make you look more like a kiss ass, like a holier than thou kind of thing. She's not wrong for thinking this, right? Well, read this. Valkyrie says she feels grossed out even thinking about streaming on Twitch. Is she not just streaming on Twitch now? Is she not on Twitch streaming as she is saying that? A part of me feels like I want to quit streaming on Twitch and just only be on YouTube. Oh, okay, then thank goodness. Thank goodness. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just... Man, you just know from her character, unfortunately, that she just kisses ass and she does whatever her audience is going to tell her to do. Goes back to childhood trauma. Once again, I bet you her story, and I don't want to be a psychoanalyst. Go psycho breaking down all these. But it's childhood trauma. Right? She probably had to be in a position where she always had to say yes, say yes, say yes, because the opposing individual was very not even physical, maybe not physical, maybe verbal. So then her reaction would just be, if I just say yes, they'll shut up and they'll leave me alone. That's from childhood. Could have been her parents not knowing how to parent and fried her brain as a child, and she internalized it. And usually, have you noticed this correlation, this correlate of hardworking individuals are fucking fried in the brain, and it's usually from childhood. It's almost like you get this benefit from it, like they're able to almost use it to their benefit, but they never work on the trauma. That's all it is. Trauma can be good because it would allow you to grow if you know how to work on it. But if you don't work on it, it sits with you and then it becomes your personality. You become envious like Mizkif, and you become a what do you call this? An ass kisser or something? If you're Valkyrie, right? It always stems back to it. So the best thing to do is work on it. And look at this, guys. I added this one and I saved it because it's just like, holy shit, you can't make this up, Myron. This is precisely what is wrong with men nowadays. This guy's apologizing for doing his job like a effing P. This man's job is to protect his woman from herself. I left to their own devices. See, this guy lives in generalities. He lives in generalities and he has to stay there because if you just go anywhere deeper than that, he loses his points. Buddy, what the fuck does this have to do with the actual situation? Like, did you even watch her stream? Did you not see? If he's clipping this, then he must have seen when the guy admitted he's an envious person and essentially doubled down almost on everything that Emiru said. No, he probably saw it. Just, I need to push my narrative. I need to say what I have to say. Emiru is all women. All women, right? Not her specifically being the one-off one that actually was staying through, trying to grow with this guy all while he was being crazy. No, 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 no. She's just woman. Just woman. This nigga doesn't get bitches. He doesn't get women. He doesn't know how to talk to women. He's emotionally inept when it comes to dating and stuff. I promise you. That's why his girl left him, because he's emotionalist. He doesn't know how to handle emotions. Damn near some people think he's gay because of it. I don't think he's gay. I think he's just so far off on that side that he just doesn't want to deal with it. Called her up. Childhood once again. Maybe college, university. This goes back to his childhood too as well. He's the nerdy kid that didn't learn how to talk to girls, and he grew up and he still didn't learn how to talk to girls. So now he's using every excuse in the book on why girls are bad or whatever, but he can't talk to girls, bro. Here's my thing. All the points he's bringing up, I want a nigga that could get bitches to bring it up, because he's been through the journey. He came back and he can say. So when I agree with certain points from him, it's because I have anecdotal and I can say yes, for more or less women do carry that trend, because I talk to them. I've dated them, I deal with them, I've gamed them, I've learned to be nice. All of it. He's done none of it. He's just watched them on his show and bitched and moaned and got mad. And he's like, I talked to 2,000 girls. Yeah, we watched you do it. We saw you do it, but what did you learn from it? All you do is shut them down. You don't actually engage in conversation like Brian does. And I get it. Brian is just fried in the brain now because of it. So there's some back ends. You're gonna get hit from it. But at the very least, he can say he actually engaged, so he knows he can. I would believe his word over yours, right? Because like, what the crap, bro? Let's watch what this is though. I told her to dress well. So we're gonna actually see what the context is of the video, because this might be some more stuff. He's either gonna do one or two things. In the first clip, he brought up a bunny and he tried dodging fucking accountability, which was crazy. But then in the other clip, he took full accountability and called himself an envious, jealous person. So far, he's in the plus for me. So far, he's in the plus for a bit of a redemption. See what he does now.
I know I wasn't perfect with my language or tone throughout this entire relationship. I know I wasn't. And I was aggressive at times. In regards to being controlling, I told her many things. I told her to dress older, to stop wearing pajamas, to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole, stop talking about past relationships, and yes, I didn't want her to travel without me. I also said that I didn't want her to hang out with specific people. This is because I didn't want her to get hurt. I didn't want Emmy to get assaulted. I didn't want some man to do something to her when I'm not there, and I wanted to keep her safe.
Bullshit. He did it because he was jealous and he's envious. Who's gonna believe this, buddy? The first thing you did was come out and say you're a jealous, envious person, and we're supposed to believe it's to protect her. Nah, nigga, you thought a guy was gonna take her, and since you are so emotional and you're not a good partner, it's very easy for someone to take her, because damn near it's a bargain sale at that point. Any nigga's better than you. I wouldn't do, but I would understand why you want to keep her in a closet, bro. The moment she go out, she ain't coming back. You're weird. You're a weird dude. Keep it a buck, bro. I have this weird theory, because this is just a random theory, guys, and you could tell me if I'm wrong. You ever notice? I'm like no homos. Like, you ever notice when people got like the light eyes and just that the pretty boy kind of look? They're always like fucking psychotic. I have two things. They're either psychotic or like secretly gay. I firmly always believe this. Those pretty boys, they're always either psychotic or secretly gay. Call me crazy. Am I crazy on that? You could think of a couple streamers that are out there that kind of fits that bill, and you even thinking one or the other. There's someone in my mind. I'm hoping someone gets it and put it in the comments, and I have nothing against this guy. God bless him, bro. God bless him. I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I'm probably wrong. But that sense you get, right? And it's not always going to correlate, but here we are. Here we are, because they use that ability to get what they want from people and abuse and use. It's a deep one, but
and I know with how my mental was and who I was back then that I didn't do everything right.
And may I also add to as well, you could want her to dress older, all that positive stuff. He noted down all the good stuff he believes were good stuff and wants to change a person for the better. So then we can go and say, yeah, that's pretty fair and sound-minded. That's why Myron used this clip, right? But then ignoring the wow texts, those other text messages, the slamming the door like a baby when she's streaming. What's manly about that, sir? That is antithetical to manly. Not only that, it's not only manly, you put her in innate fear. You're traumatizing her. So you're going further than not protecting her. You're making her feel like no man to protect her. You're going above and beyond in the opposite direction. He is writing this stuff down. He's writing it down. I guess she wrote it down because it was an hour of fucking. But as a man, bro, you should be able to sit there and speak your fucking mind. You don't jot down your points. You don't jot down your points, bro. That means you have to remember, oh, did I say that? Yo, I remember I actually said that thing. Bro, that should be on your heart, bro, if you fucked around like that with her. That should be on your heart. This guy's fake. Put it on my money, bro. This guy's fake. He's a weirdo.
I know I could have done better, and I'm sorry. I know I was controlling, and I should have just ended the fucking relationship, but I was so confused as a person, and I'm sorry I did it. I'm sorry things got to this fucking point, man. The last 9 months of this relationship, things got extremely fucking toxic. I told her to move out. She didn't move out on her own. I told her to move out because I wanted space, but she still wanted me around at all times. She would get upset if we didn't sleep together or if we weren't around. She always wanted me to drive over to her house, but I never wanted to because I wanted to be alone. And that increased our fights, but the stalkers continued. And
I could believe some of this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna just say Emiru is innocent, because since she has this attachment effect, right? Clearly, she stayed through a lot of bad shit. Those are trauma triggers, and usually those two people in the trauma, they do kind of trauma cling. So I'm not gonna knock any of this, right? I might even grant him some credence there, and like that cry. He's either a perfected narcissist once again, or that is a genuine cry. You can feel it. It was coming from the gut, and it came out. And the certain words or the phase at that point is what brought out the tears, right? I will grant him this. As a man, right? As a man who's been through first relationships or whatever, I've had a bad relationship. It usually stems from being with a traumatized person, and you are trying to be the healer. And then the healer eventually just gets fucking traumatized themselves by putting in work in this investment that's never going to pan out. It's never going to pan out. And then the healer starts becoming a poisoner because it is just so antithetical for a healer to experience these type of negative frequencies. It literally off balance their frequency, and then they become a fucking destroyer. Because that's what a healer is. A healer is a very powerful person on one side of the spectrum. When you turn it around, they become the opposing on equal footings. A very, very dangerous person, because they know how to get to people. That's why they can heal. So in the adverse, they know how to destroy a person. So you don't fuck with those people. He was a coddled person with trauma that he didn't deal with. He jumped into a relationship and it fried him. A lot of guys would watch, and that's why Myron and all that shit that they do is not good for men. You're fucking with their heads. You're making them think women are the worst thing in the world. Then they get into a relationship and they start thinking all these things, and then they project these things. Even if the girl is that case, the best thing to do is, if you're going to stay in there, you stay with your full heart. She messes up, be mature enough to not get emotionally attached to someone if you notice these trends, and slowly walk out. Slowly walk out. That way you learn to always be able to open up, because the right person is going to reciprocate. If you never open up, you won't get with the right person to reciprocate. So you always have to give 100%. But being notable and understanding and taking in trends so that you can slowly walk back is how you go about it. It's like a job. Right? You're going to work, you're going there on time, you're giving it your 100%. But if you notice certain things, you go on Indeed and you start looking for another job, right? You start looking. You're not going, but you start looking, right? You notice the trends to get you to that point. That's how it should work. So I could grant him not what he did was right, because what he did was wrong. But total malice, I may have to remove that. I may have to remove total malice. This guy is a traumatized, insecure person, and he projected that insecurity on Emiru. Full stop. That is as much grace as I'm giving him at this point, with everything else that I gave him before, right? Because I'm a guy. I've been there. I understand. I understand when it gets chaotic and toxic and you just don't know what the fuck to do. You feel like you're doing everything right, but it's just not panning out. But honestly, in my experience, I would view myself as Emiru. I'm the Emiru trying to heal what I thought was the opposing person that needed healing, and it. He would be my ex in this situation, and that's no disrespect. That is no disrespect, right? But you know, it's straight shot. If you are a healer, And I'm not talking about magic mumbo jumbo. If you're someone who genuinely likes caring for people, and you listen out to them, and you take your own time to heal their problems type of shit, you have to make sure that person reciprocates it, or you will destroy yourself. Meaning, you see them pay it back in other ways. They'll even ask you if you have a problem you want to talk about. But someone you're always helping, but they never call you to check in on you. Well, there it is, right? Got to take things in, or at least be notable of that. Maybe there's something else they offer, right? It's not always that. Maybe you don't need someone to talk to you, but it's just something, right? There's some form of understanding. They say, this person does this for me, therefore I'm going to do it, right? And if he did it, then more power to him. This is a crazy situation. We're not going to get into this one. This is her reaction. So you can watch my reaction of the reaction, right? But we'll basically end it off there, guys. I just wanted to at least show some context on the channel with Mizkif. I didn't want to just show Emiru's reaction and call him a monster, right? So we're going to, after I make food, because I'm hungry beyond hungry, probably react to Tectone, react to some of Asmongold. I'm gonna be live streaming, so I'm going to post this. Hopefully people see this and then they want to tune into my live streams, jump on. I'm on Kick. We're gonna be breaking this shit down. I'm playing some games, all that good stuff, guys. But just, we're in a healing time where a lot of things are getting exposed, guys. You're gonna see a lot more of this. God is exposing things. Most end times. I know people don't want to believe that, but that's what it is. That's why we're seeing all these changes going on in the world. The truth will always come to light. So I'm glad Amy came on and did this. You're probably going to see streaming turn its head with how many things are going to get exposed, but then it's going to create healing, right? Because there's probably going to have a whole bunch of people getting canceled, a whole bunch of viewership spreading back into the pool for a whole bunch of real actual people to come up. That's how life works. Negatives will always balance itself out to a positive if you give it enough time. So subscribe to the channel. I love for you guys. I hope you guys are prospering through whatever it is you are going through. There is no trial that you cannot handle, especially with Jesus Christ. So take it easy.